I'm not interested in going on the 5 minute chart and trading, all these little complex moves. I don't care about that. If you look at this chart, which is the total 2 chart, right? Basically, every other asset besides Bitcoin and cryptocurrency all brought together in one chart. And why are we looking at this chart? Because that's what represents most of the assets in your portfolio. If you're watching this, maybe you have some Bitcoin, but chances are, in addition to Bitcoin, you have some altcoins. Those altcoins that you hold are more likely than not represented by this chart, this total 2 chart. Meaning, for the past 700 days, your coins have been down and sideways. For the past 700 days, we dumped and we've been sideways, okay? So if you look at this, literally for the past, let's say 400 days that we've been sideways, why would you be bearish on support, on major support? You've literally been in a small consolidation channel for 4 to 500 days. The smart thing to do is be bullish at support, even if it's high time frame support, even if that means a little bit of variance to the bottom. It doesn't really matter, because once you start going, you're not going to care whether or not you bought the top or the bottom of this small channel. Hello everyone, my name is Daniel. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is September 22nd, 2023. And we are going to make it. Crypto is going to pump at any moment now, okay? And yes, this is something that I've been saying for quite some time, but we're going to look at the technicals. We're going to look at why this is more true than ever. Okay, guys, if that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Let's get started with Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame. And I want to show you this, right? Let's put everything in context. Let's just look at the technicals. Everybody can have their own opinions, but the technicals are the technicals, and we can interpret the technicals, right? Each person can interpret the technicals however they may. But what you cannot deny is the fact that since April, we've been in this 3-wave pattern, okay? It's a 3-wave move. A, B, C, W, X, Y, it doesn't matter what you want to call it. But since April, for almost half a year, we did down, up, and back down. So you cannot deny the fact that we are at support of a 6-month channel, okay? That is a fact, okay? So what do you do on support? Do you get bearish on support, or do you get bullish on support? You get bullish on support. Support means you're going back up, okay? Now, if we do go back up, where's the next resistance? We've talked about this. The next major resistance is at 32,000, okay? So I do expect for us to go there. And if we do move, the first move is going to be up to 32 and then right back down to the midline. Because as I always say on this channel, when you look at a channel of price action, there are 3 factors that you want to pay attention to. The bottom, which is support, the top, which is resistance, and the midline, which is resistance when you're below it, support when you're above it. But those 3 levels are important because they each need to be tested, okay? So you need to test the support level, which we did. We go, and if we make a move, we're going to bounce off of the top resistance, but then we can't just keep going. No, we got to come back and retest that midline, which is an important level, as support. Previous resistance flipped into new support. So if we do get a move at any moment or over the weekend, what I'm expecting is a move to 32,000 and then right back down to the midline, which is around 29,000. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing in Bitcoin. Again, the facts are that we are on a 6-month level of support. And furthermore, we have for the past 36 days been in a channel, another channel of more likely than not accumulation. Okay, you can have consolidative channels that are distributive, meaning they break down. You can have consolidative channels that are accumulative, that break up. This looks like the latter. Why? Okay, let's zoom in. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so when we look at this 36-day channel, yeah, you can say it's a 36-day channel. Let's make it properly 36 days, okay? And I talked about this before on different episodes. I talked about a Wyckoff accumulation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Wyckoff accumulation, look at the schematic and compare it to this 36-day channel. And what you're going to see is are a lot of similarities. And I pointed out the fact that this looks a lot like a sign of strength, or SOS, which you typically get right before the asset is breaking the top resistance of the channel. Okay, so that's what I believe we're in, the final stages of this accumulative range. Okay, now zoom in even more. Again, another fact. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Another fact. We are at support of this SOS, or this purported SOS, right? So you can see here, we have a channel within a channel, right? All of this is channeled price action, right? Channel price action, basically, you can identify a clean level of resistance and a clean level of support. We are at support of this 10-day, I believe, right? From the 12th, yeah, 22nd, 10-day range. So at support of a 10-day range, what do you do on support? You buy support. Not financial advice, but you want to get bullish at support, bearish at resistance. Okay, and just really quickly, people say, well, you know, you've been bullish, you're too bullish, you should get bearish sometimes. It doesn't make sense, my friends. I'm a simple trader. You may look at my content and think I get into the weeds because I talk about all this Fibonacci stuff and, you know, wave this and wave that, complex corrections. At the end of the day, all I'm doing is buying support and selling major resistance on a high time frame. I'm not interested in going on the 5-minute chart and trading, you know, all these little complex moves. I don't care about that. If you look at this chart, which is the total 2 chart, right? Basically, every other asset besides Bitcoin and cryptocurrency all brought together in one chart. And why are we looking at this chart? Because that's what represents most of the assets in your portfolio. If you're watching this, maybe you have some Bitcoin, but chances are, in addition to Bitcoin, you have some altcoins. Those altcoins that you hold are more likely than not represented by this chart, this total 2 chart. Meaning, for the past 700 days, your coins have been down and sideways. For the past 700 days, we dumped and we've been sideways, okay? So if you look at this, literally, for the past, let's say, 400 days that we've been sideways, why would you be bearish on support, on major support? You've literally been in a small consolidation channel for 400 to 500 days. The smart thing to do is be bullish at support, even if it's high time frame support, even if that means a little bit of variance to the bottom. It doesn't really matter, because once you start going, you're not going to care whether or not you bought the top or the bottom of this small channel. Okay, so this is why I've been bullish for the past 500 days, because it makes sense, because I'm looking at the chart and I want to be bullish on support. Now, again, why am I saying the end is near? Why am I saying we are going to pump, we are going to make it, and it's imminent? Well, a lot of that goes back to looking at the US dollar currency index. If you follow my work, you understand that everything happens with this chart, the liquidity that is provided by the US dollar. Bitcoin, crypto, as great as this asset class is, it's not large enough to have its own liquidity. It has its own liquidity, but it's not large enough to move itself, right? It's a trillion, I think it's $1 trillion asset class, right? Something like that. Yeah, $500 billion, trillion dollar, yeah, something like that. $1 trillion asset class, right? It's moved by the underlying asset, which is the US dollar. You use US dollars to buy Bitcoin, to buy Ethereum, to buy Cardano. So if the US dollar goes up, Bitcoin and crypto go down in value, and vice versa. So we want to track this chart. at the beginning of this week, I said we're more likely than not going to get a big move in crypto because this chart was super bearish. It still is. Look at this chart, okay? We're on the hourly time frame for the US dollar currency index, and what we can see is a very nice rising wedge. These rising wedges tend to break down. Okay, what we've done for the entire week is consolidate at resistance, okay? But not consolidate at resistance in a bullish way. Why do we know it's not bullish? Because I want to show you, or I want to point out the doji candles that you're seeing at the top of this move and the rounded top that you're forming, okay? So this is a quintessential distribution, meaning tops and bottoms are rounded. In technical analysis, we say tops and bottoms are rounded, extremities are rounded. So if you're making a top, you're more likely than not going to see a rounded structure, and this is exactly what you're seeing here. Also, the candles are going to be dojis, meaning you're going to see wicks to the top, showing a lot of sell pressure once you get to these levels. So do expect this to roll over. Okay, on the hourly time frame, you're also printing an oversold signal, okay, or overbought signal rather, overbought signal. And on the higher time frames, you're also really overbought, right? On the 4-hourly time frame, on the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame. So weekly, daily, 4-hourly, hourly, you're overbought. It's unlikely that this break up and out, okay? So my thesis from the beginning of the week stands. But it's Thursday, you say. I hear you. It's Thursday, 4:10 p.m. You know, the markets are going to close. The DXY is going to stop trading. There's not going to be any liquidity. Bitcoin's going to be hovering. Maybe, maybe not. We know in the past we've gotten moves on the weekend. So we can always get a move on the weekend. So the name of the game is to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Because when this does happen, it's going to be fast and furious. And it's going to be quick, and it's going to take a lot of people unawares. Again, I'm still seeing Bitcoin first to 32K, which is our next significant resistance, then down to 29K, which is the midline of the channel that we've been in for the past 6 months. And then continuing. But how fast is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? I don't know. Can it happen in the next couple hours before the close of the market? Sure. Can it happen on Saturday or Sunday? Sure. Will it happen next Monday? I don't know. But I feel, given what we're seeing on the US dollar currency index, given what we're seeing on Bitcoin's chart, and given what we're seeing in some altcoins, which is the last thing we're going to talk about, just pull up your major altcoins. What do they look like? Do they look bullish or bearish to you? This is an example, okay? This is Ethereum, the number 2 of all of crypto, right? It's the number 2 asset in terms of market capitalization. My question to you, whether you're a seasoned technical analyst or not, when you look at this chart, do you see bullishness or bearishness? What do you see? Let's break it down really quickly. Well, I see a channel. That's channeled price action, up and down in a constrained space, right? There's a clear resistance and a clear support line and a midline, okay? What do you see? Maybe a move to the downside before a move up, or this can be the support level right here. This can be what we call a spring, and so the move can matriculate from here, okay? In any case, you're closer to the bottom of this channel than you are to the top. So this looks bullish by virtue of the fact that you are on support. And when you go on a high time frame, let's see, daily doesn't look so hot, to be honest. Let's see. Okay, so the 4-hourly is kind of in the middle, kind of in no man's land. The hourly looks bullish, but not super bullish. The daily, I don't know. The daily's in overbought territory, granted, and crossed bearish, but it can always do something like this. So my stochastic RSI is not definitive here. I don't know if it's telling you for sure where this is going, but I would still say, given our initial analysis of seeing how we're closer to the bottom, closer to support than we are to resistance, this is a relatively bullish chart. Lastly, if you go on the higher time frame, what do you see? Right, on the weekly time frame, you see it's cross bullish and it's completely oversold. Okay, it's oversold, cross bullish, and again you see a 1, 2, 3 wave move, and then you see a subsequent accumulative channel, all right, or a purported accumulation channel that usually yields a markup. Okay, let's look at one more really popular altcoin, guys, because I really want to drive this point home. People think I'm up here doing it for views or whatever. No, trust me, it doesn't get views, and I'm just telling you what I see. Okay, in all earnestness, let's do Chainlink. There's a lot of noise or buzz about Chainlink. Okay, so we're on the weekly time frame. Look at Chainlink. What do you see? Again, channeled price action. Let's do that. Channeled price action. There's a resistance, there's a support level. Okay? And you've been going up and down and up and down and up and down for quite some time, right? Since April. Again, this is a 6-month channel, just like we saw in Bitcoin. And you dipped down below the lowest observable support level of this channel. So again, you may be dealing with a Wyckoff spring here. And you came here and you put in what looks like many weeks of accumulation. And this is likely a breakout that may continue. So what you're seeing in Chainlink is quite likely a breakout that's targeting this target right here. What's this target? That's essentially the height of the channel. Channels break to the upside or downside. They typically target the height of the channel. That's the technical target, right? And then what you're likely going to get is a retracement, retesting the resistance of this 6-month channel as support. You're going to break this, but you're not leaving until you retest this in earnest as support. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing in Chainlink. This seems to be like one of those altcoins that's ahead of schedule, that's showing what's likely coming in the rest of the market. Guys, that's my analysis. This is why I'm uber bullish. This is why I think we're going to make it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.